Hello Internet, I'm me, and I'm here with a double feature of Akibaranger. Now, I know I missed the first episode of Akibaranger, but I actually did it for a good reason. There was a twist at the end of this. And before I get into the plot of Akibaranger, which is really simple and kind of straightforward, so it'll take like 5 seconds to cover that, I have to say this now. I usually am not into Japanese humor. Adult humor, at least. Most of the time, it consists of sex jokes and puns, and don't get me wrong, I do love a good sex joke, but when the punchline is usually either rape or a girl, having to expose something that she's embarrassed to show, I don't find that funny. Now, I do know there are people who find that funny, and that's the rule of comedy. Not everybody's going to laugh at it. But, what I have to say about Akibaranger is that this is very well written. The jokes are actually genuinely funny. It's not the stereotypical thing that I would have seen from a Japanese comedy. It's something I can actually show my parents. Even though the promos in this say it's not for kids, I'm pretty much like, yeah, kind of is. Sure, they don't curse as much. There's not much in the way of blood. There's a little fan service. Not as much as you would get in any anime, like, I don't know, High School of the Dead. So, yeah. In these two latest episodes, not much of that dirty stuff has really come up. Sure, they may make some sexual puns or jokes, or, make fun of otakus or something like that, but other than that, not really bad. I was expecting much worse, actually. And honestly, my first impressions of Akibaranger was dread. Because I actually thought it was another Sentai, but then I realized it was a parody, then I laughed my ass off. Hell, there's a lot going for Akibaranger. But enough rambling about what I did like and didn't like, or what I expected. Let's actually talk about the show itself. Akibaranger is actually about 3 people, just random people, bike messenger or delivery boy, pretty much, a martial artist chick, and a cosplayer. All 3 of these characters I pretty much just see the Japanese version of Futurama in my head. Delivery boy, a chick who beats stuff up, and a pseudo-slutty chick who likes dressing up in costumes. Or Amy. But, anywho, let's move on from there, because that might be slightly racist. Anywho, these 3 characters are literally there just to mess around. And they are all chosen for random reasons. The red one because he knows a lot about Sentai, almost disturbingly a lot, and that's actually kind of where most of the jokes come from. Not more of dirty jokes, but more of how much this guy is a nerd, and actually delves into his fantasies as how he's going to save the day, even though usually once the fantasy ends, it turns out he's on the floor while somebody else takes care of the problem, which I thought was pretty funny. And I actually did show this joke to my mom. Yeah, Akibaranger, really dirty. And trust me, I'm pretty sure it's gonna get much dirtier as the show goes on, but for now, meh. The worst I've seen in this show is a boob grab. Woo, we're really on the edge now. But anywho, and of course, the Blue Ranger was chosen because she beats people up. Or she got beat up and wants to beat people up, and now she's with them. She's not really a Sentai fan, but she does like this little anime that has been going around gaining popularity. All 3 of them do. And, of course, the Yellow Ranger, who is the cosplaying ranger, who's pretty much recruited there just because she has big boobs. That aren't that big. Well, not by American standards, but still, boobs! But anywho, so they all come together and become the Akibarangers, which their morphing thing is a doll, which looks like a cross between Miku Hatsune and generic anime with armor. and their dolls turn into guns that turn them into the Sentai. And now, I have to say this, as an unofficial Sentai, their henshin process is might be better than Go Busters. Honestly, I do enjoy this show a lot better than Go Busters, and I'm saying that now. It's well written, well directed, and though the fight scenes have a lot to be desired, they actually do well with something that's supposed to be unofficial and not supposed to be taken seriously. It actually has some pretty good fight scenes, and I actually go into putting in some good jokes. If you ever watch any Sushi Typhoon movies, those are the sex jokes you're used to, where when somebody's punching somebody in the face, the girl has to be on the guy's hips and doing the humping motion for that. In here, yeah, we get a few boob grab, and like he grabs their boobs and chunks them over there. But it's not overdone and overplayed. It's actually very subtle for a sex joke. And actually, I applaud the writers and director for that. It is a very well-written show, and it actually turns out in episode 2, it's all a disillusion. It's all in their heads. While they're fighting the monster and the henchman, they're literally punching at nothing in the middle of the street. And it's all in their heads. And this whole team being put together is not to be an official Sentai, but it's just to get the team a TV show. So they could be an official Sentai. It's not about saving the world. It's about money. And honestly, this is a good idea. I like it. I really like the way this show is going. Episode 2 is again more of the same, except for the whole fact that Red figures out, once figuring out this is a disillusion, that none of it is happening and you're just punching at air, he pretty much goes into a depressive state while the front runner, or chick who drinks a lot, pretty much, who hired all the Akibarangers, sends out a fake Decared to go liven up his spirits. And once he comes back, he does nothing but drink in a bar. And of course, the real Decared comes into the battle in a disillusion, so I don't see why it's a mystery, and comes in and helps them defeat the enemy, who again is in their head. It's not real. But even though it seems like this is a very fun concept, and you'll have fun with it, no matter what. Even if you know it's all in their heads, none of it's real, and, you know, actually, it kind of takes an edge off of the sex jokes. They could do a tentacle rape scene in one of these fight scenes, and I'll just be like, meh, it's all in their heads. It's just their sick minds, not ours. It's a perfect plan. I really like this idea. You could do so much with it, and literally just do so little with it, and you'd still be fine. It's actually pretty good, and they accept the fact that it's in their heads, and just do this for fun. I like this. I like how they explain that the little morphers actually sends out brainwave signals so that they all share their disillusions together. Or how some of the actual stereotypes and cliches of how the evil guy will say any last words before you die pretty much means that's the part where you start kicking ass. And if you don't, you end up dead. Or you get lost in the disillusion. And I really like this idea. I love the idea of mind play. And this series seems like it's going to delve into it with some humor. And what more could I ask for? These 2 episodes are both 9 out of 10s. They're funny, they're well done, well written, though the direction could be a little tighter, and of course the fight scenes could be a little more desired and a little more choreographed than just, hey, kick over there. Other than that, I'm pretty happy with the product they've made, and I can't wait to watch episode 3. I'll leave you guys some links down below in the description. They will be Daily Motion links, because more than likely Dailymotion will let it slide, YouTube will not. So if you have any objections to that, go somewhere else. Other than that, I'm me, and I'm just pretty much now saying, peace out.